Hello, everyone, and welcome to Designing Your Future. This is the Career Services live session for your career development class. We are excited to be here with you, and we have an hour packed full of information. Be sure to use that chat box. We are recording, and you will get a copy of the slides and the recording tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about who your presenters are. My name is Annette Nkenko, and I am a Senior Manager for Training and Programs and primarily support our Career Services team. And part of my responsibility is jumping into classes and sharing content with all of you, which by far is one of my favorites. Love doing that. And week 2 is a busy week. This is one of 3 classes this week, so happy to be here with you. And I'm going to let my partner introduce herself.
Yes, thank you. My name is Laura Cleckley, and I am a senior career advisor here at DeVry. I've spent several years in the career service field, supporting job seekers through all stages of their job search. I'm also a certified professional resume writer. One of my favorite parts of my role is teaching job seekers how to navigate applicant tracking systems and tailor their resume so they stand out to employers. I'm excited to be here today and share some strategies with you going forward.
Thank you so much, Laura. All right, let's talk about what we intend to accomplish today. So, we're going to walk through some really important questions that your career advisor will typically talk you through during your coaching session with them. It's all about how to introduce yourself, right? How to answer that all important question that you get asked during the interview, or if you're at an event and you want to introduce yourself, how do you do that? What's the best way to do that? And then, what do I want to do next? Maybe you're in the middle of a job search and you know exactly what you want to do, or maybe you're ready to explore. You're not quite sure what you want to do after you finish your classes. An important question is, how do you stand out? How do you make sure that your job search materials help you stand out from the crowd? We want to help you do that. And then, of course, what makes me promotable? Maybe you're already working in industry and you are looking for a promotion. You're looking for career advancement. So, what makes you promotable? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about mentorship and how important that is to be a mentor and to have a mentor. And then we'll talk about what actions you can be taking now, because we're all about taking action, right? And that could be one action a week, could be one action a month, right? It's all about what you have time for, but it is about momentum and moving forward, right? Getting you where you want to be. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with that first question. Now what? Many of you may be asking that, right? You are in your career development class. You are getting closer to completing your program, which is so exciting, and we're so excited for all of you. Congratulations on just how far you've come. And if you have the date for your graduation, let us know in chat. When are you finishing? When is that date for you? We spend so much time focusing on our classes and our projects, our assignments, which of course is important. But sometimes we're so ingrained in our classes that we forget to look up and think about, okay, what is next? What do I want to do when I graduate? What am I going to do when I finish my program? Now what? Oh, I love it. Look at all those dates flying through. I see a lot of 2026, which is so exciting. Congratulations to all of you. Now, if you're asking, now what? Don't worry. Even if this is you, you have an entire team dedicated to help you. So you will have the ability to meet one-on-one with your career advisor if you haven't already. So whether you're in a current job search now, looking for your first opportunity, whether you're looking for career advancement, or maybe you don't need career services right now, which is totally okay. Maybe you're going to need this in the future. You have access to career services now as a current student, and you're going to have access after you graduate. So if you don't need us now, you can come back later, right? But we want you to know what you have to come back to later. So customized career coaching based on your needs and obstacles you might be facing. You have access to Hire to Rye, powered by Prentice, which is our career platform, which has 2 different job boards inside where we post job opportunities for you. So, of course, we want you to look at your favorite job search engines, but we also want you to be inside Hire to Ride checking out those job boards, because the job board in there, we are posting positions that we believe are a good fit for our students and our alumni. So we want to make sure you add that to your list of job sites. We also host career development webinars. We have a new boot camp series coming up at the end of the month we'll talk about. We host employer information sessions where employers want to come and share information with our students and employers. They talk about their company, their hiring practices, and then any opportunities they currently have open that they're sourcing candidates for. And then we host virtual career fairs 3 times a year. So very important for you to know all the things that you have access to now as a current student and you will have access to even after you graduate. So remember, for those of you that haven't had any involvement, you can start at any time. That's today, that's tomorrow, that's in the future. So just want you to know what you have access to. All right, let's keep on going. So how do you introduce yourself? We want to start from the very beginning. If you know how to introduce yourself and you do it often, that is great. But for some of us, it is a very difficult question to answer. And of course, your response is always going to change based on your audience, right? And so, how would you introduce yourself? Let me know in chat. How do you typically introduce yourself? What do you share? Thank you, Jeremiah. Michael says experience. Okay. What's on your resume, your name, your work history? It depends. Your career field, your strengths and your weaknesses. Oh my gosh, look at all that. Your rank, where you're from, right? There are so many different things that you could include in that response, right? And you always want to tailor it very specifically to your audience. But the most important thing of all those things that you mentioned is the value you are going to bring to that conversation, to that person, to that role, to that department, whatever that's going to be. What value do you bring to that connection that you're making? And how do you answer that question? What kind of resources do you have? What kind of questions should you consider? So these are just a few questions that help us define who we are in the workplace. And so, what is it that you like to do? What do you spend hours doing where you lose track of time? What are you passionate about? What gives you energy? When you're done doing something and you feel really excited and very energetic, right? Not something that drains you, but something that really gives you energy. What is that thing? What are your strengths? Many of you mentioned that too, right? What are you good at, right? And a good thing to think about here is what do others say about you? Because sometimes as individuals, we have a hard time advocating for ourselves or boasting about ourselves, right? We're not really confident in doing that. And so, what do other people say about you? So for career launchers, you may want to ask your peers and your professors, right? While career answers, you might want to look at your past performance evaluations, ask your supervisor, ask other department leaders where you work, right? What do others say? So if you can't find the words to introduce yourself and talk and boast about yourself, what do others say that you can use? Because that always helps, right? My colleagues think the best of me in this situation. My supervisor really values this about me. So think about what others have to say about you and then think about what makes you unique, right? And if you are struggling to answer these questions and even to introduce yourself, your career advisor is going to be a great sounding board and can really strategize with you to help you answer that question because it's really important that we can answer that question very specifically and very important in an interview question. So what's that first question in an interview that people ask you that is so completely open-ended that you could go anywhere with it? Who can tell me in chat? What's that question? Jeremiah, who are you? Like, a little bit more. Tell me about yourself. Yes, exactly, right? And some of them may ask you that, right? Who are you? And so that is that very first question that often gets asked in an interview, and you could go anywhere in that direction, right? But that really is your career identity. It is a tough question to answer because you have to adapt it very specifically to that interview, to that supervisor, that recruiter, that department, that company, right? You're going to answer that question very specifically. And all too often we rattle off titles, jobs that we had, our degree. But again, we have to really describe our strengths, our achievements, what successes that have we had? Because what you've done in the past is a great indication of what you can do in the future. So they're going to ask you all kinds of behavioral based questions to figure out what you've done in the past because they want to know what are you going to do when you get into this role, right? How are you going to hit the ground running? What are you going to be able to do? And so you want to be able to share that. And you want that leader or that hiring manager to have a really great idea of who you are. Like, what problems did you solve? What value did you bring, right? What makes you unique? What makes you who you are? And did you know that we actually have a resource to help you do that? Let's talk about that a little bit more. So, when you go to partner with your career advisor, you have the option to take the Clifton Strengths Assessment. And this really is great because it helps you discover what you do best, and it helps you decide or determine how you turn your top 5 themes of talent into strengths, right? With knowledge and investment, spending time on it. And those talents that you develop into strengths are great to add to your job search materials, right? Those are great words that you can use to describe yourself. So when you get ready to partner with your career advisor, ask them about the Clifton Strengths Assessment. And I have another poll question for you that I want to launch because I want to know, do you know what your top 5 themes of talent are? Maybe you've already met with your career advisor and you've taken the Clifton Strengths Assessment, or maybe you want to take it. I see lots of you are talking about wanting to take it. So it is a great tool, especially if you struggle with how to describe yourself. You get those top 5 themes of talent and different reports and materials inside your Gallup Access account that really give you more information about that. So if you struggle with how to answer that question, this assessment can be a very big help for you. You're going to learn a whole new language around your top 5 themes of talent. You'll be able to add those to your resume, your LinkedIn profile, how you introduce yourself in that very first question in your interview. So keep that in mind. We want you to learn about your talents and we want you to develop them into strengths. So that is an opportunity for you that will definitely help you answer that question. All right, great. So what's that next question? All right, what do I want to do next? Right? Maybe you're earning your degree. Maybe you are pursuing a certification for your specific program because those can be really helpful as well, right? What do you want to do next? And so in chat, I want you to let me know, what is it you want to do next? How many of you know? And if you know where you want to go next, how are you going to get there? Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan of how you're going to get there? Retire from the military. Thank you for your service. International business, certifications. Be rich. Get a better job, continue your education, start a business. Oh, those are great. I love it. Advance to leadership, go back to school, get your master's degree. Oh my gosh, you guys are on fire. I love it. I love that you know exactly what you want to do. And again, if you don't, that's okay, right? You can partner with your career advisor to start some exploration. They've got some great resources to help you get started. Love it. That is great. So I want to talk you through some ways for you to start researching and pursuing opportunities because it's never too early to start researching where you want to go and what you want to do. Now, for those of you that know exactly what you want to do, those of you that have already put in chat, that is great. But things change, right? Or if you're changing careers, do you know what titles you should be pursuing, right? So it's really important that you are moving in the direction that you want to go. And how you do that, obviously, is doing research and gaining experience, right? While you're in classes, so important to start doing that because it really helps you decide what you want to do and then what you don't want to do, right? If you start working on internships or micro internships and you decide, oh, that's not what I'm interested in, right? You can mark that off your list and you move on to the next thing. But it's important to get started, right? Not to wait until after you finish your program. Start now because you want to figure out what you want to do and where you want to go. So I want to know from this list, how many of you have actually done any of these? Has anyone completed an internship? How many of you have heard about micro internships? Has anybody heard of Parker Dewey? Parker Dewey is a company that we work with that offers micro internships. So internships sometimes are hard to get into, right? And they're hard because they're right in the middle of the day. Maybe you're already working full time, or maybe you're taking classes at a specific time. And so you're not able to complete an internship. Sometimes those are only during the summer months, right? And so micro internships are small project based assignments that you can complete for different companies. So highly encourage you to check out Parker Dewey. I think if Laura hasn't already, she's going to put that link in chat for you. But you can set up a complimentary account with Parker Dewey, and then you can just explore it like you do any other job search site, right? There might not be anything that you find right now, but micro internships might be a great option for you to consider if you don't have time to do a traditional internship, right? Of course, you can also consider apprenticeships, right? Are there certain apprenticeships that you might be interested in? Your class assignments and projects, right? Keep those, right? Are there successes that you can pull from your class assignments and projects that you can really highlight in your job search materials, right? You're doing incredible things. So you want to make sure that you have a list of your achievements and the things that you've done very successfully. So those are important too. Now, of course, any part-time work, contract work, full-time work experience in your field, of course, that's going to be helpful. There's also another company that we want you to be aware of called The Forage, and they offer simulations. And so that is also a way to gain some experience. The great thing is you can create a complimentary account there too, with The Forage, and then explore different companies, different opportunities that they have. And then it tells you, right, how many hours to complete a simulation. And the great thing is that when you complete those simulations for that company for a specific role, you're going to get a certificate of completion. It's going to outline the 4 skills that you learned during that simulation. So then you can go and add those skills to your resume. You can add those skills to your LinkedIn profile. So that's going to really help you. And then recruiters from those companies actually get lists of the people who complete those simulations, so they could potentially reach out to you as well. So simulations might be an option for you. Of course, volunteer work. If there's volunteer work in your industry that you're able to do, squeeze that in. If you're currently working, are there job shadows that you could do, right? Is there another department you might want to work in where you could go job shadow someone for a few hours? And some of you put leadership as something you were looking at. So is there a leader that you could shadow to figure out what their role really looks like? And then if you have conquered your role, and you are ready for advancement, ask for a stretch assignment. I don't know of any leader who's going to say no for somebody asking to do extra work, asking to help with a new project or initiative or another department, right? So ask for a stretch assignment if you've already conquered what you do in your current role. Maybe you get your work done more quickly and you have some extra time on your hands. So ask for that stretch assignment. That is going to speak volumes to your work ethic and your ability to make an impact in your role. Of course, learning new technology. Oh my gosh, with AI, there's so much new technology, and that's never going to change, right? There's always going to be some new technology to learn. So keep that in mind and dive into those. And then, of course, any projects at work that you can get involved in, any committees or initiatives that you can join, those can be helpful as well. The real important goal here is just to start moving in the direction that you want to go, right? You don't need to do all of these, you just need to start. And if it's doing one simulation or it's doing one micro internship or one job shadow, right? I love it. Elizabeth's already shadowing. That's great. So just start moving in the direction you want to go and start doing your research, right? Start gaining experience in your field because employers are looking for candidates with a strong combination of education and experience. So you're doing the education. We know it. You're here, right? But do you have that experience? Have you started gaining experience in your field as well? So make sure that you have both. Start working in that direction. All right, next question we have, right? So we've done our research, we've gained our experience, we're trying to make decisions about where we want to go and what we want to do, but now how are we going to stand out in the job search? How are we going to make sure that we are standing out? Because as you can imagine, there are a lot of candidates, right? And I just realized I did not end that poll. Thank you all so much for those of you that have completed and know your themes. But how are you going to stand out? How are you going to share your value? Let me know in chat. What do you do to stand out? How do you share your value? Certifications, portfolio, sell yourself. Yes, Megan. Oh, Ariana, go above and beyond, right? Let your work ethic speak for itself. Help others. Absolutely. Work hard, training and on-the-job training. Yes, lead by example. I love that one, right? The work that you do is going to speak for you, right? People will see that. People will know. Become a subject matter expert. Yeah. Help others. Great. Volunteer. Listen. Oh my gosh, yeah, listening is so important, right? Oh, you guys have given some great networking. I saw that. Some great suggestions. Thank you so much. So, in career services, we kind of have a secret to standing out that we like to share. We want to make sure that you are all career ready, that you are ready to wow that employer, to be confident, to be prepared in a job search. And so we consider that career ready. So it's really your strengths and skills compared to the needs of the employer. You see that intersection where those two circles meet? This is our Venn diagram. And it's really understanding what are the needs of the employer and then how do I fit those needs, right? How do I help them solve a problem? How do I help them become more efficient? How do I come in and make an impact? And so that's what's really important. And that's what your career advisor is going to work with you on. They want to make sure that you are career ready, that you're ready to show how you're going to make a positive impact the moment you walk in the door. And so remember that the hiring manager is only going to know what you tell them, right? Only going to know what your marketing materials share, how you present yourself. So it's really important that you know exactly what they need. And what's that document that you need to review to make sure you know what the needs of the employer are? Who can tell me what that is in chat? What's the document that tells you what the needs of the employer are? Mission statement is good. Job listings. Exactly, right? It's the job description. That leader, that recruiter is hiring for a very specific position. They tell you exactly the qualifications, exactly what the needs are. They need someone with that role. Their team is missing that person. So those needs are very clear on that job description. So you need to let that job description guide you and you need to highlight all the ways you can fulfill that job description. What you've done in the past that is going to be able to showcase how you're going to be able to do that for them in the future. So that is great. But yeah, you need to show, right, your value proposition, right? Your personal brand story, who you are as a person and how you're going to make that impact. And that can be really difficult. So again, you can partner with your career advisor to develop your personal brand to make sure that that employer knows, that recruiter knows, right? And you're able to really showcase who you are and that value that you're going to be able to bring. And so let's do some reflection on your personal brand because this can be pretty daunting. This can be really hard. But we'd like to break it up into 4 quadrants. So when you think about who you are and how you want to describe yourself, right? So think about your unique strengths and you can utilize your results from that Clifton Strengths Assessment to do that, right? And then the bottom, the impact you've made. Very important to share your results. And that's one of the areas that people often forget. You need to be able to share the results, right? Where have you been successful? What are your achievements? And then in the top right, you see, what do you want to do? Like you want to be really clear, right? You want to make an impact in this new role when you get into it, right? That's 30, 60, 90 days. What do you intend to do when you're in there? And then that last question, it's kind of wrapping it all up, right? Why should they hire you? Right? That's kind of that final wrapping it all up. Why should they hire you? And so when you do this, you're really just adding a couple of statements into each of the different fields. And so again, your strengths, the impact you've made, what you want to do, and then why should they hire you. And when you add a couple of statements into each of these different quadrants and you pull it all together, it looks a little bit like this. And so you can be creative, right? I love this. I don't just look at a problem for the surface solution. I dig deeper, identify patterns, and I anticipate risks before they even become threats. I took the lead on simulating a penetration test and identified multiple weaknesses others overlooked. That attention to detail and proactive approach improved our results and earned my team recognition. He wants to have the chance to help organizations safeguard their data, their systems, and their reputation as an information security analyst. That's the role he's trying to pursue. He wants to combine his technical skills with his passion for problem solving, bringing fresh energy and perspective. And he's excited to help the organization strengthen its defenses and protect their data. And he brings more than just technical knowledge. He brings dedication, resilience, and a genuine passion for protecting people and systems. And he ends it with, I'm ready to contribute, adapt to new challenges, and grow into a trusted professional who makes a real difference. What a great way to introduce himself, right? And all he did was put a couple of statements in each of those quadrants and then pulled it all together. And of course, this is going to change depending on who you're talking to, right? It's going to change based on your audience. But what an incredible way to introduce himself. And he's not going to read this aloud, right? He's going to talk from his heart. He's going to share. But this is a great way to start to develop your personal brand and how you're going to introduce yourself. And of course, you are going to tweak it, right? Every good storyteller knows that they're going to tweak their story based on who they are talking to. But it's really important to have a good idea of who you are and the impact that you can make, because that intro is the beginning, right? That's that very first impression. When you answer that, tell me a little bit about yourself, you set that first impression for them. So you want to make sure that it is a good one. Now, once you develop your personal brand, what do you do? And how do you add it to your job search materials? And I'm going to now pass the presentation over to Laura.
Yes, thank you, Annette. Such good information. And we are going to jump into the resume. So let's start with your resume. Here we summarize three things a resume should do. It should provide a historical review. So clearly, the resume needs to outline your past employment details, education, and general skills and strengths, but it also needs to highlight your achievements. These are the things that are unique to you, usually have a clear outcome and help you stand out. And finally, a resume should highlight why you are the best candidate for the job. You want to make this case so that they bring you in for an interview, right? We want that employer to bring us in and interview us. So I do have a question for you. So what or is it acceptable to use AI to create your resume? What do you all think? AI is huge right now. Do we think it's acceptable? Got some no's and yeses, a little bit of both. So it is a yes and a no. AI gives you a good place to do research and capture ideas. So use it to get started. But remember that the human element is crucial. Your resume has to represent you, it has to show your skills, your education, and your experience. And you have to be able to speak to it in an interview. You don't want to get into an interview and not know what's on your resume, not be able to talk about the things that you have listed on your resume. So you always want to be able to understand and be able to talk about everything that's on your resume. When organizing a resume, there are a few questions to consider. So, first, is your resume aligned to the job description that you're interested in? Each time you send out your resume, it should be aligned appropriately. Let the job description guide you. What are they searching for? Does it show relevant achievements? Anywhere you can show quantifiable results, which is numbers, the how much, how often, or ways you went above and beyond is a plus. Does it represent you well? Can you stand behind it? And does it make you shine in front of the applicant pool? Does your resume convey the right message? And the most important question, are employers seeing it and contacting you? You want hiring and managers to immediately see your value and what you could bring to their role. Did you know there are AI tools in Hire DeVry, our career platform, to help you build, analyze, and tailor your resume? You will want to tailor it for every position you apply to. And there's lots of tools in Hire DeVry that can help you do that, as well as your career advisor. So let's take a few minutes to talk about how to align a resume to a specific job. So, the job description is going to be your roadmap or guide as to what should be included in your resume. It's going to tell you what phrases and words are important for the recruiter to see. Therefore, your resume should closely match the job description to ensure you have the right keywords. We break this match down in three different ways. So, number one is the role match. Does the job title match the title on your resume? That's the first thing that a recruiter or hiring manager is going to see is your contact information and that job title. So we want that to match. Your qualifications. Do your qualifications match? The job description often very clearly outlines the qualifications needed for the role. Do these match your previous responsibilities? This could even be in the way of your education. If you don't have previous experience, use projects, things like that to help match those qualifications that the job description is looking for. And then skill match. Do you have the skills requested? Are the hard and soft skills needed for the role present within your resume? So think about all those things that you can match the job description to your resume. These are 3 areas to look at when customizing your resume. Once you add a job to your job tracker in Hire DeVry that you are interested in, you can select it and use the AI tools in Hire DeVry to help you tailor your resume to that specific job. It will do the work for you, but again, AI, like we mentioned before, still needs your human touch. So use it for help, use it to get ideas and do research on how that works, but then go in, tailor it to your experience and your skills. After you tailor your resume to the specific job you're applying to, what should you review and update next? What do you think? What are we reviewing and updating after we tailor our resume? Any ideas? Cover letters. Cover letters is a good. References. LinkedIn. I see LinkedIn on there. Cover letters. Yeah, cover letters are good. Portfolio, references. Uh, yeah, some good ideas. Yes. So LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile is what we want to update next. Employers are looking at this. Sometimes they'll look at this before they look at your resume. So we want your LinkedIn profile to be an extension of your resume. Career Services recommends that you develop a profile on LinkedIn for recruiters and hiring managers to view. You can sync and analyze your LinkedIn profile inside Hire to Write too. So helps you with your Hire to Buy profile if you have that LinkedIn updated as well. And remember, your resume has limited landscape. We don't want a 5-page resume. That is not what employers are wanting to see. So that resume is limited, but on LinkedIn, we can go into more detail. Um, you can get to direct employers and hiring managers to the online identity you want them to see. If they are interested in you, they are going to search for your online, your profile after they review your resume to learn as much as they can. So they are going to look for you on LinkedIn. So you want that to show what you are capable of. LinkedIn is a great tool that helps do a variety of things to aid in standing out and finding others. We have a couple of best practices when creating your profile on LinkedIn and general use of the platform. First, you want to make your profile personable. Remember, this is a social networking tool after all. There are a couple of ways to do this. Add a profile picture. We want to see your face. We want to know who you are, and we want to see what you look like. We want to see that you're a real person, right? We want to make sure this isn't a bot account or a spam account. So we want to see your profile picture. A background image. A background image can show a little bit of your personality, but also you want that tailored to your target jobs as well. So adding a background image and a catchy headline that will get attention. Don't just revert to your current job title, but be creative. We want that headline to show recruiters what you are looking for. So, what you're targeting, the skills that you have. That is what recruiters see when they do searches in LinkedIn. It shows your picture, your name, and your headline. And so we want that headline to match what they're looking for. So, second, make your profile unique. You do this through writing and personalizing a summary that includes your achievements. So, share your story. So, this is, again, it's an extension of your resume. You can give a little more detail here on LinkedIn. You can share a little bit more about yourself and what makes you unique, what's going to make you stand out to that employer. And then once you have your profile ready to go and visible to the public, what's next? What are we going to do next? Any Any ideas of what we do after we get our profile updated on LinkedIn? Look for jobs, yeah, portfolio, add the resume, network. I see some networking, share updates, apply to jobs, connect with people, follow accounts that you relate to. That's really good. Yeah, networking, search for jobs. Yeah, all these really good ideas. So, yes, we want to utilize LinkedIn. Get in there, be active, connect with people. I saw lots of that. Network. This is how, in this job market, this is how we get in front of the right people is by networking. We've identified three things you should be doing with LinkedIn: research, job search, and networking with others. All of these areas are important in your career development. You can learn so much from all of these areas. Research and follow organizations, people, and groups. Search for opportunities you're interested in. Do you meet the qualifications and can you apply now, or do you have skills gaps you need to fill first? It's never too early to start looking. Even if you're early in your program, you can look and see what these employers are looking for and what you need to build upon. Build and nurture your network. How can you give back to those in your network? Share articles and resources, share your knowledge. So, there's tons of information on here on LinkedIn. It's a great way to share with others in your community. We've covered standing out using your resume and LinkedIn profile. Once your resume and LinkedIn profile help you get the call for that interview, be sure to reach out to your career advisor to help you prepare. Your career advisor has resources to share and can help you practice your interviewing skills. And last, move into the future for a moment. You're now in your new role. How do you prepare for the next one? What are we doing to prepare for our next role to advance? Training, develop skills. Yeah, that's really good. Take certifications. Certifications are huge. Continue in education. Yes. Lots of things that we can do to advance your career. So I believe we have a poll question. We are going to put on here, where are you in your career journey? So let us know. Let us know. Are you looking for your first opportunity in your field, changing careers into a brand new field? Are you happy working in your field that you're already in? Professional development, lifelong learning journey. Yes. We got good, good. Lots of changing careers. It looks like is one of the higher ones. Looking for your first opportunity. Perfect. Yes. So we have 27% looking for your first opportunity in your field. 36% are changing careers into a brand new field. 23% are happy working in your field today. And then 13% professional development, lifelong learning journey. So, yeah, a good variety here. For those of you who are currently working in your field, what strategies have worked for you? What do you think? What strategies work to help you advance in your career? Training, I see. Training, open-mindedness, I love that. That's really good. Networking, yes. Helping other departments, shadowing. Yes, lots of good ideas. All of that's going to help, making those connections with the people that you work with. Being there, going above and beyond. I think that was mentioned earlier too. Going above and beyond. All of those are going to help you advance in your career. Perfect. Yes. All right. So, how do leaders know you are ready for advancement? So, how do you showcase promotable qualities? What are we doing to showcase promotable qualities? How does your leader? Yes. Being consistent, being present. Yes. Achievements. Achievements is really good. Hard work. Asking questions. That's great. Yes. Always reaching out to your leader, asking questions. Volunteering. Lots of good ideas. Staying busy, dependable. Taking accountability. I love that. That's a really good one too. Yeah. Meet with management. I love that. Take the initiative. Meet with them. Ask for a meeting. Let them know what you're looking for. That's a great one. Um, Lots of good ideas. Awesome. Yes. So exactly. We've outlined some items I consider to be promotable qualities. So, someone who seeks opportunities to learn, they are often curious, attend internal trainings, or if your company offers tuition reimbursement, consider using it on a certification. Certifications are always a great way to show your promotable qualities. Someone who is able to prioritize tasks and projects, they're able to accomplish many things quickly. Your ability to prioritize should allow you to accomplish more than your peers. So, going above and beyond there. Someone who is entrepreneurial and is goal driven. They are often innovative and know what needs to happen. Being goal driven should help you earn more achievements. Someone with confidence. They know they do their job well and act with authority. Confidence allows you to know how to make the right decision when needed and being comfortable with those decisions. So that's a big one. Confidence. Confidence in what you're doing. Someone with great interpersonal skills. They work well with others, are often team players. Interpersonal skills provide the ability to work with diverse members within the organization. So, working well with your team and your peers. Someone who has cross functional ability, meaning they have experience in a lot of areas, and use your cross functional ability to volunteer for new projects that might fall outside of your job description. Don't be afraid to get in there and help out, even if it's not your typical day to day activity. All of those things show some really good promotable qualities. Again, this is not an exhaustive list of qualities for someone who is eligible for a promotion, but skills that often make someone more visible and sought after for opportunities. If they aren't already, these qualities should also be a part of your personal brand story. So, going back to the beginning, your personal brand, these are all things that can make you stand out. But what if you don't have the right promotable qualities? What can you do? What can you do if you don't have promotable qualities? Keep going. Yeah. Keep putting in the work. Get them. Training. Training is great. Work towards them. Shadow. Ask what you can do. Yeah. Set goals. I love that. Get advice, ask for help. Yeah, all of these great, great options. So, what if something is missing? First, ask for feedback, whether it's your manager, a peer, or a leader in the organization. Ask them for feedback on how you are perceived or what you might be able to do to be seen differently. This information can help you reposition your promotability. So talk to the people around you. These are the people that you see on a daily basis. Ask them what you can do to stand out. Next, if you feel like you're missing certain skills, obtaining additional education or certifications can help fill in the gaps. Whether it's a quick online tutorial, certification, or another degree, education can help you boost your story. Are you accessing your resources inside Percipio in your student portal? If you're not sure, Percipio contains tons of resources that you can utilize. There are courses and videos and audiobooks. There's certification prep, live events, live mentors, hands-on lab practices, live boot camps, learning paths. There's tons of resources inside Percipio that's in your student portal that you have access to. Informational interviews are a great tool to identify missing pieces within your personal brand story. Remember, you're not asking someone for a job or promotion, but instead asking them for feedback on you and what you might be able to do to be seen as a promotable individual. Seeking out additional responsibility tells your manager that you're able and eager to take on more. It could also allow you be to interact with other individuals within the organization. Both are important if you want to take the next step higher in the organization. We all know how important networking is for job search, and the same is true for career advancement. Make sure your current network knows your desire to grow in your career. If your manager doesn't know you want to grow and be promoted, then they're not looking for it. Look for ways to increase your network. So use those people around you to increase your network for promotion. And the bottom line, in order to effectively and successfully advance within your career, you must be the change you want in your career. This is also often the step that tends to be overlooked. It always seems to be how can I get that promotion and not how can I become the type of person leaders want to promote. It's important to remember that career advancement is earned and not simply to be expected. Once you've figured this out, you need to communicate it. This is where your personal brand or reputation play a part. Make sure you've written down your promotable qualities and are living those. Reflect on your list and review it frequently to make sure those are guiding your decisions. Now, do you have the right people in your corner to collect feedback from and bounce ideas off of? So let's jump into mentorship as it is another important part in career advancement. So, career advancement takes time, and you can do it alone, and you can't do it alone. I'm sorry. Identify people who can help you reach your destination. This usually happens in the form of identifying mentors to help you find the way. And you can't put all the pressure on just one person. You need an entire board of people who bring something different. You want different perspectives. Different people are going to see different things. Do you have at least one mentor? Let me know in the chat. Does anybody have at least one mentor that they reach out to or talk to their work? Yes, I love that. Love seeing a lot of yeses. If you don't, try to find somebody. See if there's somebody that you work with that can be a mentor. All right. So let's discuss the different types. So it's not just who you work with either. So the different types. The counselor provides guidance and tips. Seek out individuals who excel at things you want to learn and ask for. So find somebody that does something that you admire and reach out to them. The role model. So search for someone who's living the life you envision for yourself. How did they do it? They can help you with your career advancement because they can share with you the steps they took to be where they are today. What worked for them? What obstacles did they face and how did they overcome them? That's a great way and on LinkedIn. Great way to find people in that field that can give you advice on how they got to where they are. The listener in a world of instant gratification, you want someone engaged in your conversation, an active listener. This person could perhaps allow you to vent and they could act as a sounding board, especially since career advancement is not an easy process and it does take time. We can express our frustrations with our mentor, who in return can help you understand your frustration and learn from it moving forward. Then we have the promoter. You'll likely leave conversations with a promoter feeling energetic and empowered. Each person's contributions have value, and a good promoter and motivator knows how to point that out to you in a compelling and inspiring way. This mentor is my personal favorite. They encourage you, support you, and definitely motivate you. When pursuing career advancement, we always need a support system. It's nice to get that encouragement to help build your confidence. And then lastly, we have the go getter. So look for the people who set high standards for themselves and who push you beyond your comfort zone. And instead of pushing back against their high expectations out of fear of failure, try to live up to them. You might be surprised at what you can accomplish. So, a common myth about mentors is that you got to prove your extended network to find them. But the best mentors are usually the ones you already have in your life without even realizing it. An important shift happens in how you interact with your family, friends, coaches, and colleagues when you recognize them as a valuable source of knowledge. You start closely examining everything they do and say, from how they structure their day to how they treat the people around them. And in the process, you learn from their wisdom and success. For example, this mentor could be a colleague or a peer in class who excels at what he or she does, someone who you identify with and respect. Yes, Dean, DeVry staff. I love that. That's a really good example. Give back also. So remember the importance of being a mentor to somebody. We all have things that we have strengths in. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. If you are already doing what you are passionate about, set up and guide someone else by training them, but also just by being a go to person for anything someone might need. Whether they are a new person or someone that doesn't have as much experience, position yourself as a person people can count on to be better. We can all learn from each other. And then finally, we went through a lot of content, and you might now be asking, what else should I be doing? And where do I begin? Researching. Yeah. Asking questions, working on resume. Lots of things we can do. Shadowing, job searching, networking. Yes. So, yeah, don't wait. The most important thing is to not wait to get started. You can do all kinds of things to help start or advance in your career journey, whether you're looking for your first real job out of school, whether you want to advance in your current career, or simply just want to develop yourself professionally. Don't wait to begin that journey. It is a lifelong adventure. So, meet with your career advisor, get into Hire DeVry, all of these things, attend a webinar, update your resume. There's so many things that you can do, and us, we in Career Services are here to help you along the way. All right. So I hope this that we have on the screen now seems very familiar to you. This is the home screen of Hire DeVry, powered by Prentice, our career platform. For those of you that have been in here, what is your favorite part about Hire DeVry? What have we seen that we really like? The job board and tracker, yeah. Yes, the job board. It's easy to use. I love to see that. Easy to navigate. That's awesome. The feedback tools. Love the feedback tools. Yes. Yeah. For those of you that haven't seen it, hop in there. You have access to Hire to Rye and all the tools and resources. Yes. Awesome. So we have mentioned some of the features to you. So the resume and profile builder. So create a standout resume and professional profile that highlights your strengths. The platform offers easy to use tools to craft a document that employers will take notice of. Your profile can also be shared with employers looking to recruit talent. You can also sync your LinkedIn. We may have mentioned this earlier. You can sync your LinkedIn account to quickly build your profile and your resume. So if you already have all of your great information on LinkedIn, you can sync it and it's going to pull all that info into Hire to Fry. So definitely take advantage of that. Career resources and events. You get access to a variety of career resources, including industry specific articles and career development webinars, just like you're in today. Whether you're preparing for an interview or looking to improve your LinkedIn profile, we have you covered with lots of cool tools and resources. And then your job search. So gain access to thousands of exclusive job and internship opportunities with top employers in your field. You can filter searches by industry, location, job type, and find the best fit for your skills and goals. Well, we have tons of job leads on there. Great to access. And now let's discuss your job tracker. So, track jobs that you're interested in by starting with the added column and then continue to track to apply to interviewing and hopefully an offer. So, when you are looking through the job board, you see jobs you're interested, when you hit track, you're going to add it to your job tracker and it's going to stay in that added column on your job tracker. So, this kind of basically saves it. And then when you apply, after you apply to the job, you're going to come back and you can easily just click and drag it. There's several different ways you can move it over to the applied section. You can click and drag, you can click the little check mark, the blue check mark on there and move it to that applied and then so on. So it keeps track of where you're at, what you're doing, the successes you've had. It's a great way to access those job materials. Um, and you have support to help you prepare for your job search materials. Are you ready to conduct a job search? So, if you are ready, if you haven't already been in here, if you're ready to conduct your job search, then change your status to job seeker in the platform. Once you switch that over to job seeker, you'll see you have a little more access to tools and resources, and then you can go in and schedule your first session with a career advisor. So you would go to the My Coach that's on your menu on that left-hand side. It says My Coach. It will show you your assigned career advisor and you can schedule a time to meet with them. And then if you do have a quick question, if you're not ready to schedule an appointment and you just have a question, you can always reach out to Career Services by phone, which is 800-261-5156, or you can reach out via email at careerservicerequest@devry.edu. And your career advisor can answer all your questions about Hire DeVry and how it works if you have questions.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Laura. Lots of
Yeah.
great questions in the chat. Yes, you will have access to Hire DeVry and all these resources after you graduate. So you have access as a current student, and then you'll have access as an alum. And if you have additional questions, post those in chat for us. We have a few more slides to share with you. We know we're coming up on the hour. But we did talk about career development webinars and do want to let you know we have several coming up over the next few months. We have Take Your Career to the Next Level. So for those of you that are already in your career and you want to talk about advancement, we encourage you to join us on Tuesday, January 20th. And then we kick off our brand new Career Ready Boot Camp series. We'll kick off at the end of January on January 29th, and we have a whole set of sessions ready to help you become career ready. So we're going to talk about researching. We'll have a kickoff session, then we're going to talk about researching your career. We have an employer partner joining us for insider resume tips, all about the ATS, and he's going to answer your questions. We have another employer joining us, building your career community through LinkedIn. Then we have our career fair planning session because our next virtual career fair is set for Thursday, March 19th from 12 to 2. So definitely save the date in your calendar. If you are looking for opportunities, highly encourage you to join us in Premier Virtual. That registration information will come out as we get closer to the date, but highly encourage you to join us for that virtual career fair. So all of these sessions are going to help you become career ready and get ready for that virtual career fair. And then after the virtual career fair, we have Ace Your Interview because we're hoping that you have great interactions with employers during the virtual career fair, and then they're going to invite you for interviews. So we want to make sure that you are prepared for those. So these are all of the webinars coming up, and then that virtual career fair March March 19th. So all of this through March. So if you can join us, great. Know that these will be recorded as well. So if you can't, these recordings will be available inside Hire DeVry. I did see a question pop in, how do I get to Hire DeVry? That is inside your student portal. If you click on resources at the very top of your screen and then career in the middle, that will take you, you'll see a link that says Hire DeVry powered by Prentis, which is the vendor, and you'll be able to jump into Hire DeVry there. So that's where all those resources are, the events are, those job boards are, everything that Laura talked about. All those tools are inside Hire DeVry, and you have access now as a current student, and you will also have access as an alum. So you continue to get invited to our webinars, you can still attend virtual career fairs, you can still access Hire DeVry. So when you need us, you will be able to take advantage of those. We just want to make sure you know about all the tools and resources available to you. Now, I know Laura and I covered a lot in the last hour, but what is first on your to-do list? That is what we want to know. What are you going to do first? Let us know in chat. And if you have your hand raised, please enter your questions in the chat box for us. All right, dinner, of course, right? Resume, LinkedIn, take an assessment. Great. Contact your career advisor, log into Hire DeVry. I love that. Update everything. Take the assessment, network, do my assignment. Yes, you do have an assignment that is due that you're going to need the attendance code, which I'm going to give you in just a minute. Contact your career advisor. Absolutely. All great things. Love that. Remember what Laura said. The important thing is to take action. Do whatever you have time to do, but you need to start moving in the direction that you want to go. So waiting is not a strategy. That's why we're asking you, what are you going to do first? All right. If you have additional questions, put those in the chat box for us. And remember, you're going to get the recording and the slides tomorrow. It has a 1-800 number. If you need to email us at careerservicerequest@devry.edu, you can do that as well. I know a lot of questions went through the chat, so if we didn't get a chance to answer those, your career advisor can also answer those for you. And then I know you are looking for that attendance code, and here it is. So you want to write down JAN 26LSCARD. That is the attendance code that you're going to need for your assignment. So if you are card 205 or 405, you are going to write a reflection paper where you're going to include that attendance code. And then if you are in card 415, you are going to open up a Word document and you're going to type the attendance code in there, and then you're going to write a review of your experience utilizing DeVry Career Services, what resources you accessed, how it might have been helpful. And so depending on the course that you're in, that attendance code will go in your assignment that is due this week. So make sure that you have written that down. I'm going to put it in the chat box. I know I said it out loud and it is on the screen. You can take a snapshot of it if you have your smartphone with you. It is now in the chat box for you, but you will definitely need that for your assignment. So be sure to do that. But it was our pleasure to be here with you. If you have any additional questions, we'll stay on the line for a couple of minutes. But know that you do have, yes, and your career advisor is different than your student support advisor. You have so many advisors to support you. But yes, when you log into Hire DeVry, so remember, go into your student portal, click on resources, then click on career, and then click on Hire DeVry powered by Prentis. If you click on My Coach, you'll see the name of your career advisor, and you can actually send them a direct message right from there. So log into Hire DeVry, click on My Coach, and then send them a direct message. That is also where you can update your status to job seeking, and you can schedule your very first session with your career advisor right there. You'll find the dates and times that they have available, and you can pick the one that works best for you. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us. And if your question disappeared because of all the notes, thank you all so much. Also want to let you know there will be an evaluation that's going to pop up, a really brief survey. We'd love your feedback. We make changes to this session every session based on your feedback. So if you have suggestions for us, please add those into that feedback survey for us. And if you missed if we missed your question and you need to know tonight, drop that back in chat for me. Congratulations to all of you. I second what Camille's written, right? Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Gia, so the forage. If you go, just type in the forage, FORAGE. That is the the site where you can do simulations, where you'll be able to create a complimentary account and then review all the different certifications or simulations that are there. It'll also ask you some questions. There's a little quiz to take so that it can curate the information for you based on what you want to do, but it's called the Forage. So for Card 205, you're going to have a written reflection paper that you're going to do this week where you're going to add that attendance code in it. But yeah, you'll all have an assignment that's due this week where that attendance code that you see on the screen right now is going to need to be included. Oh, thank you so much, Laura. So she just added the Forage website into the chat box for you. And I'm going to share the recording and the slides with all of you. I'm going to email it to you tomorrow. I'm also going to email it to your professors. So we'll just wait for that recording to process tonight, and then I will email all of you tomorrow. And then card 415, you are going to also have, you're going to open up a Word document and you're going to add that attendance code in, and then you're going to share your experience with Career Services. So there'll be some questions that you ask in what you write to include that attendance code too. But all of that should be in your Canvas course. You should have it all there. And yes, on the slides will be the links to the sites. So you will have those on there. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening.